Guys, it's really cold here, and we need your help.
It's really chilly.
We got to build a lineup on tonight's 8-game NHL slate, starting with your favorite play at center. Pete, where are you going?
I'm going with one of my favorites this season for sure, Trevor Zegras. He's back from COVID protocol. He had a multi-point game the other day for the Anaheim Ducks. They're going up against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are fresh off a long winning streak coming to an end. But Pittsburgh, between the lines, has allowed 13 goals over their past 4 games. Trevor Zegras very quietly has reached double digits in multi-point games. He's got 10 this season. I think he's going to win the Calder when it's all said and done. And he's got 22 points over his past 19 games. So just so much to like about the Ducks, who now have Zegras back. They now have Ryan Getzlaf back, and they're rolling 2 strong lines every single night.
All right, Paul, need your favorite play at center. Where are you going for this one?
Well, we got to fade McKinnon, I think, on the second of back-to-backs as he and his mates face a tough task in one of the league's toughest rinks in Nashville. I also think the Leafs could be in tough against the Golden Knights, so no Matthews or Tavares either. I'm opting. I think I'm going to cross swords with Pete on this one. I think I'm going to go for Sidney Crosby tonight because whenever AJ's not around, it seems that I gravitate toward the.
And we flat out lost him.
It's so cold, Paul froze. You hate to see it. You do hate to see it.
Hey, Pete, you're still there. We can hear you. We can see you. Who's your guy at wing?
I mean, I'll definitely finish off what Paul was saying. I agree that Sidney Crosby and his play with Jake Gensel, who has points in 17 straight games played, I mean, that's close to lineup lock territory, even though I do like Trevor Zegras. I would go to bat with Crosby and Zegras as my 2 centers and just spend up right then and there. But yeah, back to the wing. I'm looking at Brock Besser. He's visiting the Florida Panthers and returning from COVID protocol himself. And Elias Pettersson also expected back for Vancouver. So even though Florida is one of the best, deepest teams in the league, wouldn't be surprised at all if a deep offense under Bruce Boudreau kind of rolled with the punches and kept things high scoring in that game, Vancouver at Florida. So yeah, Brock Besser, he's been like point per game pretty much since Boudreau took over, and 8 points over his past 7 games played with 22 shots on goal. So Besser is bringing that potential that we know he's had through the years. It's always been injuries or now COVID. It's been a lot of different variables with him. But when he's healthy and rolling, whether he's playing with Pettersson or somebody else, Besser is one of the best wing options out there for sure.
All right, Pete, talk to me about who you're looking to roster on the blue line.
I'm looking from that same game, the Florida-Vancouver game. Florida has a number of strong defensemen to choose from. Obviously, if you want to spend up, you can get Aaron Ekblad. If you want moderately priced, you can go Mackenzie Weegar, who's been extremely consistent covering categories through thick and thin for that team. I'll even go a step below where you look at Gus Forsling, the defenseman for the Panthers. He's among their leaders in blocks, in assists. He's still, I think, long overdue for his first goal of the season with none on 58 shots. Would not be surprised at all if that came tonight. And yeah, again, I think it's going to be high scoring. So try to get a couple of Canucks and or a couple of Florida Panthers and extend it to the blue line because Florida's got one of the deepest D-cores in the whole league.
Paul, welcome back. The show has not been the same without you. Who is your guy at wing tonight?
All right, on the wing, I'm going to go to I like the matchup for Kucherov in Buffalo. I think it's time for a Tampa stack tonight, in fact. He gets that favorable matchup and maybe overlooked because he's only played 5 games so far this season. He's a top 10 scorer in this league, and yet his price tag's only $6,800. That's a steal. I also think Oliver Bjorkstrand of the Blue Jackets is a great option tonight for only $4,800. He's got a very nice matchup against an inconsistent Chicago club, and he's Columbus's top scorer with 25 points in 31 games. A guy who will play in all the high leverage minutes and should be involved in plenty of scoring chances in what I think is going to be a wide open affair this evening.
All right, Paul, what about who you're looking to roster on the blue line here?
Some combination of Tampa players needs to be in my DFS play tonight, so I include Hedman here. He'll cost $7,000, fourth among blue liners tonight. But with this matchup, I really think he should be number one. You have to consider also the Florida Panthers and their deep pool of offensive skill whenever they're on the schedule. Tonight, I note that Brandon Montour costs only $3,100 despite 2 goals and 4 helpers in his last 10 games, along with 21 shots on goal and 9 blocks. That's averaging a shade under 10 DK points, and for $3,100, I'll take that every time.
All right, hook me up with your favorite value play, Paul.
I see the $4,200 price tag on Vancouver's Elias Pettersson, realizing that he's got a tough matchup against the Panthers. However, he is too much of a skilled player, Emerson, to overlook, and his own club has been on a hot streak since they made their coaching change. This game could turn into a track meet, and that would suit him just fine. I mentioned the Avs in Nashville tonight, and in a bit of a contrarian play, I like the home side, catching the Avs in that second of back-to-backs. One guy at the forefront of the Preds attack this season is Ryan Johansen. He's got 11 points in his last 10 games. He's their first-line center and on pace for his best season in the Music City. He'll cost only $3,900 this evening.
Pete, who do you got for value?
I agree with Paul to an extent about the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're one of the probably near locks to win on this slate. It's a dicey slate for sure, but I see some value in the Buffalo Sabres. I think Jack Quinn, the rookie, he's going to be coming in, making his NHL debut. He was better than a point per game for Rochester in the AHL with like 26 points in 20 games. And he's going to slot into the top 6 and maybe the first power play because Alex Tuck came off protocol, but it doesn't sound like he's going to play. Tage Thompson is on protocol, COVID protocol for Buffalo. So there are going to be holes in Buffalo's top 6. And this is going to be a showcase for sure of what Jack Quinn can offer, the former 8th pick in the 2020 draft. Very high ceiling for Buffalo and one of the many players that's getting me excited about the long-term trajectory of this franchise. So I would even go so far to say against the grain play, Jack Quinn, slot him into your lineup and just take your chances because it's not like plus minus is going to work against you. And he's going to be playing big minutes against the Tampa Bay Lightning here. Tough task, but I think he's made for this moment.
All right, favorite team to win tonight? Hook us up, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious one is the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Buffalo Sabres, who are winless in their past 5. But that one's a little too obvious for me. I'm going to go against the grain, and I have a good feeling about the Nashville Predators against the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs are loaded. They've been winning every time pretty much at home lately, 12 straight at their own barn. But second of a back-to-back, I think they're due for a letdown here. They've had kind of suspect starts to recent games against the Seattle Kraken yesterday. They had to come from behind. The Anaheim Ducks, they had to come from behind. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they had to come from 4-1 down to win that game.
You had to say that.
Playing with fire a little bit here. So I'm going with the safer bet, I think, with Nashville and UC Saros. As long as he's getting the nod, there have been very few goalies who have been better than Saros this year. And Nashville's top line is great. They got the power forward Tanner Jeannot, who's having a breakout season as a rookie. They're packing a lot of punch, and I don't know if the Avalanche are going to be ready for this.
All right, Paul, who do you think is packing a lot of punch?
First of all, Pete, thanks for hitting a nerve with that 4-1 reference. That's haunting me ever since the Bruins did it about 9 years ago in the playoffs. Remember that one? Look, I hinted at my concerns. I agree with Pete on the call. In Nashville, I take the home side there at plus 135. I know Florida is a very good team at home too, but mentioned how well the Canucks have played since Boudreau stepped behind their bench. That plus 170 line is just way too tempting for me to overlook. So I'm on that one as well, given the way the visitors have been playing recently. And the Leafs are well rested and a little healthier than the Golden Knights heading into tonight's matchup of the 2 of the league's heavyweights. Toronto is playing with a better structure and will capitalize if Vegas ever tries to open things up. Take the blue and white tonight at minus 125.